Jamie, where do you have Chase Edmonds ranked?
26, I believe, right now.
In full PPR, I assume.
Yes.
Okay. He was 27th per game last year. And Dave, where do you have Chase Edmonds ranked?
34th.
Oh.
Low end number 3 running back.
This is an interesting spot. And it wasn't a ton of money. $6 million guaranteed, $6.1 million guaranteed. So I guess you guys are just thinking he's a third down back. I mean, does he lead the team in carries? There's another one we have to see what they do.
He may lead the team in carries. He should almost certainly lead the running backs in receptions. He is a passing downs back at bare minimum, and that's a good role for fantasy, but we've rarely seen him in short yardage goal line situations. I don't know what this offensive line is going to look like. We've seen it from the Niners, and I'm going to refer to the Niners a lot when we talk both about the Dolphins and the Jets, just because the coaches that are there now, they're from San Francisco. They've worked with Kyle Shanahan for a long time. I believe they have the same types of philosophies. And I think that you will see the offensive line get worked on this offseason, not necessarily big splash moves in free agency. The Dolphins haven't made any yet as of this recording. They can find guys that can do the outside zone running that aren't necessarily high ticket type players. And I don't know for sure if Chase Edmonds does well in that type of scheme. My guess is that Mike McDaniel has had a pretty good look at Chase Edmonds over his career since they play in the same division, and he recognized that he can do those things as well as catch passes out of the backfield well, and he's going to put him in that role. But he'll share it, and I doubt he gets a lot of touchdowns because that's who Chase Edmonds has been when he hasn't been pushed into 20-plus carries a game, and I doubt that that's the case in Miami.
Yeah, when he's at work, it's usually been in the 11 to 12 carry range. There's been a few games where he's been 15 or more. Jamie, what do you think about Chase Edmonds and this marriage of Chase Edmonds and the Dolphins?
I think you should be excited because this is the guy the Dolphins clearly targeted. You know, they didn't have to spend very much, as you said, but the first running back that was signed this offseason was Chase Edmonds, and it was signed to a team that has a pretty obvious need based on what we saw last year. They are obviously going to retool their offensive line. I don't think that goes without question. They went into this process, I believe, in top 3 in cap space available. So who knows who they make a run at that's still on the market. You know, Teron Armstead is certainly a name that, you know, maybe they go and make a call to. But the draft is still, you know, a spot that they're going to be, I'm sure, aggressive in. And so I don't think that this is going to be the backfield as it stands with, Edmonds and Gaskin and Savon Ahmed and, you know, Duke Johnson if they decide to bring him back in any capacity. But I think it kind of tells you what they're thinking, you know, so we'll see if a rookie ends up there. We'll see if another, you know, player signs there, a retread guy. And I wouldn't rule out a former San Francisco running back going there, as we've talked about. But they seem to be excited about him to whatever capacity. And so we'll see what that means for his role moving forward.
Well, what's Chase Edmonds' ceiling?
Top 20.
I feel like it would be, there are a few injuries and they have no choice but to make him a 15 to 20 touch guy. And then he could be really good. But yeah, I guess
can hold up.
I guess I just don't see a scenario where I don't know that anybody views him as a primary running back, right?
I remember talking about him last year as they might. I remember talking about him last year as a potential 1,000-yard, 5-touchdown running back, and 1,000 yards being total yards, just based on per game averages that I thought he could hit after his first 3 years in the league. He only played in 12 games, but he had 903 yards. 903 divided by 12. Adam, you could probably tell me what that is, but I'm sure that's on pace for a significant amount of yardage. He has to stay healthy, and he's got to, you know, if he gets catches consistently, then I've got him too low. But I don't think it's much higher than 30 that I would put him at if I was certain that he was going to last and be locked into that passing downs role.
So Chase Edmonds, if he had 903 total yards last year, as Dave Richard claims that he did, I really put it in 11 games because he played one snap in one game. And if that's the case, his 17-game pace was 1,396 total yards, which would be freaking great. Want to throw this out at you. Tua Tagovailoa has not really thrown to his running backs. If you look at his rookie season, Ryan Fitzpatrick threw to his running backs 21.4% of the time, Tua 15.4% of the time. If you just look at Myles Gaskin had 25 catches in 5 games that Tua missed or barely played. It was a game against Buffalo in week 2. Tua played like 4 passes. Most of Myles Gaskin's production in the passing game came with Jacoby Brissett, including a 10-catch game. He only had 2 games all year with Tua Tagovailoa in which he had more than 3 catches. So this has been, through 2 years, a thing where the backup quarterback has thrown more to the running backs than Tua, and he just hasn't really done that much. Does that matter to you, or do you think just whatever, small sample size?
I mean, it shouldn't matter. And Mike McDaniel, the 49ers don't throw to their primary running back as much either. But, we've never seen him as the lead play caller, and we never seen him as a lead play caller with Tua. So to go get a guy like this, is he going to change what he does? Is he going to change what Tua does? That remains to be seen. So Chase Edmonds does not profile as what the typical 49ers running back has been. So why make this move? They make this move because they're going to try and fit him into that spot, make him work in that spot, or are they going to try and alter some of the things that they do to maybe enhance Tua, give him some easier throws, some easier reads, not necessarily trying to force the ball into guys like we saw the last couple of seasons, which has not exactly been the best situation for him. Is Mike McDaniel going to evolve as a play caller? So those are all things that you have to sort of evaluate. So I don't think you want to draft Chase Edmonds as a starter. It's a matter of, I think, how you compare him to most of the retread type of guys, the Miles Sanders, the Clyde Edwards-Hilairs, those caliber of players that are probably going to have as much upside and as much downside as him. Comparing him to Kareem Hunt or Tony Pollard or A.J. Dillon, those type of guys that need an injury, but if they get that injury, they're going to be superstars. So it's a matter of how you want to build your team. So Edmonds right now looks like the best running back in Miami. Does that appeal to you? If it does, you'll draft him in that round 6 range. If it doesn't appeal to you, then you'll wait and probably see if you can get him a round or 2 later.
In a PPR league, would you rather have A.J. Dillon or Chase Edmonds?
Edmonds right now.
Dillon for Dave and Edmonds for Jamie. Would you rather have, is Michael Carter just completely not a discussion way ahead?
Yes.
Okay. How about, let me just check your rankings so I don't say something stupid like Jonathan Taylor or something like that. How Travis Etienne or Chase Edmonds?
Etienne right now.
Same.
How about, all right, you know what? I think that's fine. I'll do one more. Damian Harris.
Harris.
Okay.